Hello everyone, it is the last day of March the 31st, about 9:08 a.m. I'm a little early for an appointment, waiting to go in to an office. And so I figured I would just make a quick video sharing my thoughts about a couple things and hopefully be able to help some other people in the future. And so I've been watching, shout out to Vince Sigala, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, I think I am, for sharing a resource that I will post the links to below. It was a Lenten mission conducted by a sister who is of Divine Mercy, who is a part of the convent or congregation, I guess, of St. Faustina, the one that St. Faustina was in. And it's about the prophetic word of Divine Mercy, so Divine Mercy in a prophetic sense. I highly recommend it. It's Luso Media, but I'll post a link to it in the description box. And so I haven't finished it. I've watched, I think, two of the three videos now, because it's broken up into segments. And one of the things that really got me thinking was she had said, she talks about the struggles with her brother, her own brother, not going to Mass, being away from the faith. And she says that really what she prays for is not so much that her brother goes back to Mass, but that her brother becomes a great saint. And so she prays for her brother to have a relationship with Jesus. And that's how she approaches her evangelization with her brother. Not so much from a legalistic law, you need to go to Mass on Sunday standpoint, but from a, I hope to share with you, what I know about Jesus so you can know Jesus and have a relationship with him. And I think it was profound to me because it really shed light on the fact that I do a lot of things wrong when I try to evangelize people. And so it was good for me to hear that, but also kind of sparked this other train of thoughts. And the train of thought is this, while I do agree with that message wholeheartedly, because we have this situation where we have an epidemic in our society of soft people who seek pleasure and don't want to do what is hard. And because of that, Catholicism is hard. Practicing the faith is hard. And they don't see, I guess maybe it's a lack of faith as well. They don't see, I guess, a good enough reason to do what is hard. And so if we explain, who Jesus is and pray for them to have a relationship with Jesus, then they will maybe be more motivated to do with what is hard. On top of that, you're always going to be in a situation where you have to do what is hard. It's just more about picking your hard. So yes, while it is hard to live out the faith, we are offered help. Okay, so Jesus helps us in the sacraments. Whereas if we don't live out the faith, we are still going to encounter hard situations, but instead of having divine assistance to help us, we are going to be completely on our own. And so what does this look like in real time? It looks like a person leaving the faith, leaving the Catholic faith because they don't want to follow the rules of chastity. They don't see the benefits of chastity. We'll just use that one because this is a prevalent one. So they leave the faith because it's not for them. They don't want to follow a bunch of rules, this, that, and the other thing. And so they go off and they go on all these fornicacious relationships. And I can tell you from personal experience, relationships built on fornication do not work. And so it eventually crumbles and you're eventually left in emotional turmoil. On top of that, you're not willing to put the actual work in a lot of times. So people who won't put the work in to have a relationship with God aren't going to put the work in for their significant other or just an overall relationship most of the time. And so you're now in this situation where you're going to face great turmoil as far as breaking up and fighting and just not being, just it not working. There'd be no peace. So yes, while it's hard to follow the faith, having no peace is also hard. And so when you're in sin, you can't really rely on Jesus for help, mostly because you're not reaching out to him because you've walked away from him. But if you're following chastity, well, or at least trying to live out chastity, well, at least you have some divine assistance and you have reconciliation and you have the Eucharist. And so we don't look at things that way in the West because we are soft. And I'm also going to post a link below to How to Raise a Man by Father Ripperger. Excellent video. And also Manual for Men. Because I do believe this is a problem. It's an epidemic of effeminacy, especially in men. Thanks to the feminist movement, where women have now taken over the roles of men, men don't know how to be men. And so they're raised in this environment where their mom does everything for them. They have all these pleasures. They're overstimulated with technology, food, sex, all this kind of stuff. So they don't know how to sacrifice and do what is hard. And so the school system in the world tells them, well, if you're going to have sex, use a condom, except there's no talk on self-mastery. Like, hey, maybe living out chastity is a better way. And so we have this whole problem. And so what does this look like in real time? Well, if you're the mother, especially of a boy, because as moms, we tend to feminize our boys. And I am a mother, a single mother, which is extremely hard, of an 8-year-old boy. So what this looks like in real time is me fighting with my son at a complete butting heads for the last 2 weeks about him cleaning his room. Because he's 8 years old, and if he can't learn how to properly clean his room and take care of his possessions, how is he going to take care of a family when he's a man? If he's not willing to put the work in to clean his room now, he's not going to put the work in to follow the Lord and have a relationship with him or a relationship with a future spouse. So that's what this looks like. And it's hard because I can do a better job cleaning his room in a lot less time without the crying and the headaches. So these are my thoughts for today. People leave the faith because they don't want to do what's hard, and they don't see the benefits of the sacrifice, the short-term sacrifice for a long-term, eternal goal. But also, they don't realize that in doing what's hard the way God requires it, we receive divine help. Whereas if we turn our back on that, we're still going to do what is hard just by default, because nothing we do is really going to work out ultimately. And it's just a different kind of hard with no divine help. So that's what I got for today. I'll post the links below. Joan of Arc Media out.